Name one other genre of music where fans openly tell artists that they're too old to perform. I'll wait. Country? No. Rock? Absolutely not. Jazz? Never. R&B? Not a chance. It's only in hip-hop where the culture turns on its own legends the moment they hit a certain age. And I got a real problem with that. Let's get to it. Meet me on the other side.
Broadway, the lyricist, homie, just let me do my thing.
Now, before I get into the names, and trust me, we're getting into the names, I need you to understand how backwards this is compared to any other genre on the planet. Hip-hop has always had a complicated relationship with age, and I get it. The genre was born young. Block parties, the Bronx, teenagers with a crate of records and something to say. Youth was literally baked into the foundation of the culture. The rawness, the hunger, the urgency, and all of that came from young people who had nothing to lose and everything to prove. But here's the thing. Every other genre of music figured out that your art matures with you. Country artists perform into their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Nobody's telling Willie Nelson to hang it up. Rock bands, legends who still sell out arenas past 40, and the credibility conversation never comes up. Jazz, the older you are, the more respected you become. Blues, age is the badge of honor. The lived experience is the music. Hip-hop is the only genre where making it to 40 feels like a liability. And that's backwards to me. If you still think older rappers can't compete, let me show you what's actually happening in music right now. Because the numbers don't lie. And the names I'm about to drop, they're gonna challenge this debate. If the argument is that rappers over 40 can't compete, the music doesn't support that. Not even close. Nas dropped the King's Disease and Magic series and won a Grammy well into his 40s. That's not a nostalgia win. That was a creative peak. Black Thought has been considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest technical MC on the planet for over 2 decades. And he's not getting any younger. The Clips, T.I., Busta Rhymes, whose longevity alone should end this debate. And somehow, it doesn't. These aren't guys coasting on legacy. They're still in the lab, still putting in work, still evolving. And the fans that are their age, the 35, 40, 45-year-olds who grew up on their music, they're buying tickets, streaming albums, and showing up. The idea that hip-hop has some kind of youth requirement doesn't hold up when you look at who's actually supporting the culture financially. Now, does that mean that age has zero effect on rap? Of course not. I'm not saying that. Because I do have one real criticism of older artists. And some of y'all might not like it. But before I get into that, if these are the type of hip-hop conversations you enjoy, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and click that bell icon so you get notified when I upload new content. We build right here every single week. Now, back to the criticism, because it adds some nuance to the conversation. Here's where I'm gonna actually push back a little bit, because I don't want to come off like I'm giving a pass to every older rapper doing whatever they want. I'm not. The one time the criticism does land for me is when an older rapper tries to rap like they 22. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. When somebody who built their whole reputation on authenticity, on being a real voice for a specific time, a specific place, a specific experience, starts chasing trends that have nothing to do with who they are, making records to appeal to a demographic that was never their audience, using flows or slang that feels borrowed and not earned, that comes off as inauthentic. And the audience can feel it every single time. That's not an age problem. That's an honesty problem. And the artists who get it right, they rap their age. They pull from what they've actually lived. On 444, Jay-Z wasn't rapping about the same thing he rapped about on Reasonable Doubt. He was rapping about family, legacy, what it means to have survived the life he came from. And that's not a limitation. That's growth. That's what great art does. The artists we criticize aren't getting it wrong because they're too old. They're getting it wrong because they stopped being real. But here's what really bothers me about this whole thing. Because it's not just about the artists. It's about what the culture is actually losing when they push these guys out. Don't miss this part. Y'all need to hear this. When we force veterans out, we don't just lose their music. We lose something the culture can't get back. We lose the bar. We lose the proof that hip-hop can be a lifelong commitment and not just a moment. Every jazz great, every blues legend who kept going into their later years gave younger artists something to chase. They raised the ceiling. Hip-hop needs that same thing. And not to compete with the 23-year-olds bar for bar, but to remind everyone what this sounds like when it's fully developed. What it sounds like when a rapper has had 20 years to find their voice and they're still sharp, still hungry, still saying something real. That's not something to retire. That's something to celebrate. But that's just me. I want to hear from you. Who do you think is the best rapper over 40 working right now? Or better, who gets unfairly criticized just for their age? Drop it down in the comments below. I read all of them and I genuinely enjoy chopping it up with y'all down there. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And if you want more conversations just like these, be sure to click here to see more. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all. Peace.